All right, let's talk about a term you're probably hearing more and more, the AI factory. Now, this isn't just about making software a little bit smarter. No, we're talking about a massive, fundamental shift. Really, it's about changing how intelligence itself is built and rolled out on an industrial scale. And to really get our heads around it, it helps to start with a pretty simple question. I mean, really think about that. What if you could build AI on an assembly line? Instead of these one-off, kind of artisanal, handcrafted AI projects that take forever, picture a massive, systematic production line just churning out smart solutions one after another with incredible efficiency. That's the big idea we're going to unpack today. So, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off by defining what an AI factory actually is. Then, we'll take a look inside, see how the assembly line works. We'll get into some real-world examples, talk about the big challenges, and finally, look ahead to see where all this is going. All right, first up, what even is an AI factory? What's the real difference between just doing some AI projects here and there versus building a true industrial powerhouse? Okay, at its core, an AI factory is a system. It's all about moving away from these scattered, one-off science experiments with AI and building a structured, industrialized framework. Think of it like this. It's a machine designed to take in huge amounts of raw data, process it, and then consistently pump out refined, intelligent AI models, getting better and faster over time. If you step back and look at history, this is a pattern we've seen over and over again. It's the next logical step. First you had the printing press and steam power, then the big industrial revolutions, then the rise of computers in the 80s and 90s. Each one of those took something and industrialized it. And that's exactly what the AI factory is doing. It's industrializing intelligence itself. So the big question is why now? What's the big rush? Well, it really boils down to a few key things. First, we are absolutely drowning in data, and we need a systematic way to handle it all. Second, the pace of change is just insane. You can't update a model once a year anymore. You need to be iterating constantly. And let's be real, it's a flat-out race. You've got giants like NVIDIA, Microsoft, and Tesla pouring billions into this because they know that having an AI factory is how you win. Okay, so we know what it is. Now let's pull back the curtain and go inside. What does the blueprint for one of these factories actually look like on the ground floor? And honestly, it looks a lot like a classic assembly line. Step 1, you figure out the problem you're trying to solve. Step 2, you gather all your raw materials, which in this case is data, and you clean it all up. Step 3 is the main event, training the model. That's where the real manufacturing happens. Then you've got quality control, or evaluation. And finally, you ship it. You deploy the model out into the real world. But, and this is super important, the line doesn't just end there. Because this next part, the feedback loop, is the secret sauce. This is what makes the whole thing revolutionary. Every single time a user interacts with the AI, every new bit of data that comes in, it gets fed right back into the beginning of the line. So the system is constantly learning, constantly retraining, constantly improving itself. The product literally gets smarter and more accurate the more people use it. It's a game changer. Okay, so the theory is cool, but what do these factories actually make? What comes off the end of the assembly line? Let's look at some real-world examples. Well, the output is all over the map, which is what's so cool. For marketing teams, it might be spitting out custom product images or social media posts. In finance, it's constantly scanning transaction patterns to catch fraud before it happens. For cybersecurity experts, it's like a superpower, finding that one critical threat indicator in a sea of noise. And in a physical factory, it's using machine vision to spot tiny defects that a human eye would totally miss. And the impact on the bottom line? It can be huge. Just look at manufacturing. AI can listen to a machine and predict when a part is about to fail. It's called predictive maintenance, and by fixing it before it breaks, you avoid costly shutdowns. We're talking about cutting maintenance costs by up to 30%. That is a massive, massive return. And this isn't just theory. Big companies are doing this right now. A great example is Samsung. They're using a whole fleet of AI-guided vehicles and robots to make their assembly and quality checks way more efficient. The boost to their operations is just enormous. But look, it's not all perfect. Just like any new industrial revolution, this one comes with some serious risks. So we need to talk about the challenges, the new rules of the factory floor. First up, there's what I'd call the data dilemma. It's this constant tug of war. On one side, the AI is hungry. It needs massive amounts of data to learn and get better.
But on the other side, we have to protect user privacy. That's non-negotiable. Trying to balance that, especially with complex regulations like GDPR, is a huge headache and a major hurdle for these factories.
And then there's maybe the biggest ethical challenge of all, the bias problem. It's pretty simple, really. If you train your AI on data that reflects historical biases and inequities, well, the AI is going to learn those same biases. This can lead to seriously unfair outcomes in really important areas, like hiring, who gets a loan, or even in the justice system. So, constantly auditing the data and the algorithms for fairness isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely essential for building any kind of public trust. So, okay, we know there are challenges. But despite them, where is this all headed? What does the future of the factory look like as it builds this next industrial revolution? I think the big takeaway here is that we need to stop thinking of AI as just another piece of software. It's becoming a utility. It's fundamental infrastructure, just as critical to industry today as electricity or the cloud were in their time. It's not just supporting the economy, it's becoming a core driver of the economy. And the factories that are making this happen are incredibly complex systems, right? You've got a few core components that all have to work together perfectly. You need the raw muscle of high-performance computing, you need the plumbing and pipelines of data management, you need the brains of the AI frameworks themselves, and you need the central nervous system of automation and monitoring to make sure it all runs smoothly. Which really leaves us with one final and pretty profound question. As these AI factories get better and better at manufacturing intelligence on a scale we've never even imagined, what's our role in all of this? What is the future of human ingenuity when intelligence itself becomes a factory product?